copy, right? So, is the shallow copy and object assignment, are they clear? Any doubts or any queries in this? I hope those are clear, right? That's great. Okay. So in the case of our object assignment, the issue we were facing is we were able to copy the handles, but if we are making any change in the one handle, then it is being reflected into other handle. Okay. So that was a major issue we were facing in our object assignment. So that's why we have went into our shallow copy. So in the case of your shallow copy, you're going to use this particular method, which is known as new. So when you are going to use this new, what is happening? You can able to uh, copy the objects, as well as for each handle you are having different objects, so that if you are going to make any changes to these properties, those particular changes are not reflected into other properties. Okay, that was the major achievement which we can able to done over here in the case of our shallow copy. But even though if we can able to achieve this, what is the thing which is happening is, if we are going to have a subclass handle, that is one class handle declared inside another class, what was happening is objects were copying, and handles were having different objects created. But wherever we are having the subclass handle, for that subclass handle, the object was created, and the two handles were pointing to the same subclass object which was created. Okay, so the two handles were pointing to the same subclass handle which is pointing to the object, right? This was the issue we were facing, and in the simulation results also, which we have seen. If you have watched the recordings, you might have seen that, right? Any doubts or any queries in this? Shall we move forward? Anyone having any queries in this particular things? Is it clear? Hello, please let me know. Yes, no. Okay, that's great. Okay, now let us see how to solve this problem which we were facing in our shallow copy, right? So what I'm going to do over here is, let me share my EDA playground. So this was the thing which we were doing in the shallow copy, where the subclass handle was shared by our two handles. It is being shared with our C1 underscore H1 and C1 underscore H2. So what is that I'm going to do is, in my class C2, which is a subclass handle of my C1, what is that I'm going to do is, I'm going to create one more function. Okay. So what is that is, I'm simply going to write down function, and the function name is the class name C2, and followed by uh, the return type is, sorry, the return type of this function is C2, and let's say the name of this function is copy. Okay, this is what I'm going to declare. Okay, so can I write like this? Function followed by return data type is my C2. Can I write like this? Is it valid or invalid? Can anyone tell me? Can I write function followed by the return data type of this function is C2? Is it a valid thing or not? Yes, it's valid, because at the starting only I have told you that class is a data type. Okay, so since it's a data type, you can use it as your return data type. Okay, so you can have it as a function return data type. That's why I'm going to use it. Okay, class is a data type. That's why I'm going to use it as a return data type. Okay. Now here, what I'm going to do is, I'm first of all going to create the object for my handle C2. Okay. So for this C2, I'm going to create C2 is equal to new. So what is that I'm going to have? So parallelly, I'm going to draw the things which is happening over here. So for C2, I have created an object. Okay. Where I have created the object, I have created the object for the C2 in my C2 class itself. So in the class C2, I have created the object for my C2 handle. Okay. Using my copy function. So this entire process is done inside your copy function. Function C2 copy. So inside this copy function, whoever is going to call this copy function, what is going to happen is, first we are going to create the instance of our C2. Create the instance of C2. This is what we are going to do. That means C2 is going to have one object. Now, what will be present inside this object? Can anyone tell me what is that it is going to be present inside this object? Can anyone tell me? If we are going to create the object for C2, what is the property which is present inside this C2? Can anyone tell me by seeing the code? Okay, C2 is which class handle? First answer my question. Sorry, here this is data type and this copy is my handle. Sorry, copy is equal to new. Yeah. Now tell me. So here I will write it down. So function C2, this is my written data type. This is my data type, and this will now act as my handle. This will be my handle. For this handle, I'm going to create the instance copy. So how I'm going to write it down? Copy is equal to new. Now, so this copy is a handle of class C2. So this copy is going to have the property int b. Is it clear, guys? Please see this and let me know. So we have written function C2 copy. So this copy is now handle of which data type? Of type C2. Okay. So this copy handle we have created an object using this new keyword. I have created an object. So since it's a handle of my class C2, it is going to contain the property B and the default value is equal to 0. Is it clear, guys? Yes or no? Okay. Others also please let me know. Okay. That's great. Now, what is it I'm going to do? Function copy is equal to new. I've created the object. Now, what is that I'm going to do is in this object, uh, yeah, I'm writing that. So after writing this, I will write. Okay, yeah. So what I'm going to do is copy dot b is equal to this dot. So inside this copy object, there is a property b, right? So in that, what I'm storing this local variable b. Okay, this dot b is equal to copy dot b and followed by end function. That's it. So what I've done, I've created a copy, I've created a function which is known as copy of which written data type of written data type C2. Okay. And inside this, this is copy is nothing but my handle. I've created the instance for this. And so since it is of type C2, it is going to have a property B. Okay. So in that, I'm basically copying the local instance B inside my copy object. Okay. So what I'm doing, I will show you the picture of this. So copy dot b is equal to this dot b. So this dot b basically refers to the local variable inside my class, inside the class, and this basically refers to this variable. Copy dot b refers to the object which we have created that variable. That is what we are doing here. Is it clear, guys? We are creating the object for yes. We have created a handle for this class C2, and in this handle we have created the object, and in that particular object we have stored b, property b. Yes. Okay, let me show you again. So what I've told you, so I've written function. So we need to write down any data type of that function, right? So the data type of this function is C2. Okay, C2 is a class name. So class is a data type, right? So I can have it. And the function name is copy. Okay. Now, when we were discussing about functions and tasks, I've told you that if I'm going to write down function int add, this is my function name, and I can use this function name as a variable. Add is equal to a plus b. Did you all remember? I've told you, right? So if I'm going to have a function return data type and this is my function name, I can use this function name as my variable. Here also I'm doing the same thing. Function data type is C2, return data type is C2, and copy is my function name. So I can use it as my handle over here. Is it clear now? That's great. Okay. Others also, please let me know. Is it clear? So, yeah. Yes, exactly. Exactly. We need to call the function. Without calling, no process is going to happen. Okay. Yeah. So we have done our part in the subclass and subclass, that is C2. Okay. Now in the C1 also we are going to do the similar process. So in C1, what are we going to do is, first of all, we are going to again have one more function. So let me write it down, that function. Now this particular function is of type C1. Okay. So it is of type C1, and this, let's say the function name is again copy. Now here what are we going to do is, we are going to create the object for this. Now this copy function and this copy function, these two are different. This is a function with return data type C2, and this is a function with return data type C1. Okay. Now what is that this object is going to contain? Can anyone tell me? We have created an object over here, right? What is that it is going to contain? What are the properties this particular object is going to contain? Can anyone tell me? Exactly. Handle of C1 or C2? Handle of C2. Okay. So let me write it down over here. So in class C1, we have created a function. Return data type is C1 and the function name is copy. Now I'm going to use it as an handle, and I've created an object for this. Now this particular copy function is basically a handle of class C1, right? That's why it is going to have, you can see over here, it is going to have a handle of C2. That is, it is going to have internally C2 underscore H handle, as well as it is going to have the property E, because it is a handle of my C1, right? That's why it is going to have this method and the property which is present inside the object. And this written and this default data type is 0. Default value is equal to 0. Is it clear, guys? So this is little bit different concept and a little bit difficult to understand. So please let me know if you are having any query. I can solve it right now. If we are clear, we can move forward. Okay, that's fine. Now, what are we going to do over here? So after creating my object, I'm going to copy the local instance, copy my local instance, copy dot e is equal to copy dot a refers to this object. What I'm doing, this dot a. Okay. That means the local variable which I'm going to have, that I'm basically copying it to my object. That is what I'm going to do. I will show you the diagrammatical representation also. So copy dot a is equal to this dot a. So inside my class C1 I have int a, right? So this value I'm copying it to my object, which is nothing but my copy. This is what I'm going to do. Okay, is it clear? Now, next what I'm going to do is, I'm going to refer to this C2 underscore H, which is present inside my object. How I'm going to refer to this handle C2 underscore H? Just simply I'm going to write down copy dot C2 underscore H is equal to, I'm going to call this dot. That means inside this class, I am having property as well as C2 underscore H handle also, right? So for this, I have created a new object also. So using this handle, this dot C2 underscore H dot copy. So inside class C1, we have created one copy function, right? This function. So we are calling this particular function from here. So what happens if we are going to call this function? Can anyone tell me? If I'm going to write down this dot c2 underscore h dot copy, what is that I'm going to happen? Previously, someone has asked, right? So what is that I'm going to have? So for this, a object will be created and the local variable which is present here inside my class C2 that will be copied into this object and the entire object will be returned. Okay, so here an object will be created and this object is going to contain the value of b, whatever the value of b we are going to have, and this object will be returned. So that this c2 underscore h is now pointing to the object which was created. Okay, that is what it is happening. Okay, now let me write down over here. So copy dot c2 underscore h is equal to this dot c2 underscore h dot. I'm going to call the copy method. So if I'm going to call this copy method which is present inside my class C2, what is that I'm going to have? This copy method will be called, an object will be created and the local variable will be stored inside my object. Okay. Now, so someone should call this copy method which is present inside my class C1. So how I'm going to call it and followed by end function is necessary. Okay. Now, so here instead of performing shallow copy, what I'm going to do over here is, so I need to copy this two handles c1 underscore h1 and c1 underscore h2. So what I'm going to do is c1 underscore. Okay, before that, is it clear? Up to here, is it clear? Any doubts or any queries? Okay. So what I'm going to do over here now? C2, sorry, c1 underscore h2 is equal to c1 underscore h1 dot copy. That's it. So what I'm doing now here, okay, let me first of all show you the diagrammatical approach, what is happening over here. Then we will see the output results. Okay. Now, I have two classes again. Let me again show you everything with the diagrammatical approach. This is my class C1 and inside this I have one more class C2. Okay. This is what we are having. This is my subclass handles. Okay. Now, for this class C1, I have two handles C1 underscore H1 and C1 underscore H2. These are the two class handles. For C1, I'm going to have two handles C1 underscore H1 and C1 underscore H2. Now, first, what are we going to do over here is within an initial begin block, initial begin, I've created my instance for my C1 underscore H1. C1 underscore H1 is equal to new. That means I've created an object for my C1 underscore H1. That means if I have created the object for the C1 underscore H1, what is that I'm going to have? So it is going to look like this. C1 underscore H1 is now going to have an object. C1 underscore H1 is now going to have an object where I'm going to have the property A. Let's say the value is equal to 0. And also we are going to have the handle for C2, that is C2 underscore H. So I'm going to have like this. Okay. Now, if you're going to perform shallow copy, what is happening? What is shallow copy? So if I'm going to write down C1 underscore H2 is equal to new of C1 underscore H1. What is that I'm going to have? So let me draw it over here. C1 underscore H1 is pointing like this, which is going to have the property A, and C1 underscore H2 is pointing to different object, which is going to have another different copy of A, but both the handles are pointing to the same object which was created for the subclass handle, that is C2 underscore H. This was a problem which was happening. Okay. That we basically want to remove over here. Okay. So for that, what are we going to do is we have written some code. Let us debug and let us come from here. Let us try to debug it. What is that it is happening? Okay. Now I am not going to follow this. This is nothing but my shallow copy. I'm not going to have this. Okay. I want deep copy. I want everything, including my subclass handle, to be copied. So that's why what I'm going to do over here in my deep copy, I've already created my object for my c1 underscore h1. That is c1 underscore h1 is now having a object. The value of a is equal to 0. And also it is going to have the handle for c2 underscore h. Okay. Now, what I've done over here, c1 underscore h2 is equal to new of, sorry, c1 underscore h2 is equal to c1 underscore h1 dot copy. So we are basically calling the copy method which is present inside this c1 underscore h1. That is what we are doing. Okay. Now, what is happening if we are going to call our copy method which is present inside my c1 underscore h1? Let us look into it. Let us look into it. So where is it? Yeah. So we are calling the copy method which is present inside my c1 underscore h1. So let us go to the copy method which is present inside my class c1. Yes. So this is the copy method which is present inside my class c1. Now, if we are going to call this function, what is happening? We are creating a object and we are copying the local variables inside this object. This is what we are having. And after copying the local variables, we are again calling the copy method which is present inside my class C2. Okay. So let me draw it over here. When I'm going to call this copy method, here an object has been created, which is the name of this object. Basically, this object is a copy object. This handle is pointing to the object. Now, this is going to have the property A, okay? And it is also going to have one more handle of C2 underscore H, okay? Now, what is that after copying? What is that we are going to do? We are going to call the copy method which is present inside my C2 class. So if we are going to call the copy method which is present inside my C2 class, what is that I'm going to have? Let's go to C2 class. Yeah, this is my C2 class. So inside my C2 class, if someone is going to call this copy method, then again another object is being created. Okay, so if someone is going to call this copy method, so it is going to first of all copy the property. Okay. Next, copy method inside your C2 class has been created and copy method inside your C2 class has been called and another object has been created, which is also the object name is copy. And inside this object, we are going to have one more property B, which is going to have some random value, let's say 10. Okay. Now, after creating this object, it is being returned. Okay. That means this C2 underscore H, which is present inside here, right? This will be pointing towards this object. This will be pointing towards this particular object. Okay. Now, that's it. So what is it? It has been created and the C2 underscore H, which we were created, right? That is basically pointing towards the new object which was being created over here. Okay. And this whole object is now given to our left hand side. So now the C1 underscore H2 is now pointing towards the object which was given to us. And internally the C2 underscore H is now pointing towards another new object. That's it. So this C2 underscore H is now pointing to one more object and this C2 underscore H which we have written is pointing to another object. So that any changes which were made to this B using this handle, which is basically of C1 underscore H1, and any changes which are made to this B using the C1 underscore H2 will be different. Let us see the simulation results also. Let me run this and let me show you. See, so the value of B using the first handle is 10 and the second handle the value of B is 20. So both are different. So subclass handles, if I'm going to make any changes, those particular changes are not reflected to the another handle. Is it clear, guys? What is that it is happening? Is it clear? Okay. Others? Waiting for your responses. polymorphism and inheritance, those and all will be very, very important and very, very interesting. So I'm trying to have it in the way which is rarely discussed. So I'm trying to have it in that particular way, so we can explore more and more things. But for this, you definitely need you definitely need the practice of object-oriented programming. You need to revise the things more and more, and you need to get your hand free in this particular topic so that you can able to understand them. Okay. Yes. So that's about this particular session. Thank you.